Hi everyone. Well, this is what we call why I don't curl my hair. Because when I do, within 5 minutes, this is what happens. It uncurls. But that's okay. So, I thought what I'd do for a different kind of vlog is have like a topic discussion. I used to run a lot of support groups in my first marriage because, well, I didn't really work a lot in my life. I was fortunate enough to have a first husband who, I wouldn't say demanded, but that's what, he wanted a wife who was home and raised the kids. And that's what I was when I met my second husband. And I don't want to go into that story. Anyhow, so a topic that I've seen around, heard people, whatever, seen in my own life, friends that I know. Do you notice when two people, like a husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, break up, divorce, whatever, what I see is that the guys seem to find a woman first, or they start looking, or some of them prowl. No offense to any guys or anybody else or whatever, just in my opinion. And it's not even the factor where you could say, oh, usually the women are left with the kids. Because I've had some friends that, had kids, but they just shipped them off to their mother and father's house and went and found themselves a guy pronto. Me, if I had a place to put my kids, the last thing on my mind would be another man. So I'm wondering, in your lives, have you seen that? Maybe in your own life or friends of yours or just anything. Do you see that the majority are here? And then usually we had discussion groups actually in college. I took a course, I don't know what it was. Almost seems like it was philosophy class. It's an elective, I don't remember. Anyhow, we had a lot of discussion groups on topics. One was this. And I remember someone in the group saying, well, it's a guy thing. Sorry. That is such a poor excuse. You get married, you have a baby, and, oh, the guy doesn't hear the baby. It's a guy thing. Oh, the husband or partner or whoever, it's a guy thing. Both people may be working full-time jobs, pick up the kids from daycare, come home, the guy goes to rest, the woman's making dinner, getting the kids, the homework, it's a guy thing. Again, nothing against the guys. I don't know how many guys watch this, but why is it a guy thing? It's not. We're all the same. We're people. Who's to say, that, why is the majority of it's a guy thing? A guy gets to sleep and rest after a hard day when a woman doesn't. Let me tell you, being a stay-at-home mom is not a picnic. It's like 3 full-time jobs plus you're on call 24 hours a day. You wear a lot of hats. The only thing what I've always said about being a stay-at-home mom, what I think is over being like a working mom outside the house, or the husband, boyfriend, whatever, the guy, if he has to work, you can pretty much go to the bathroom when you want. Like, if you're at a job, sometimes you might not be able to, and if you have something like IBS or colitis, that would suck. But as a mom, I have found, at least in my life, when you have little ones, you're never in the bathroom alone. I personally, I don't shut the door when I have little ones because I hear them. Usually they're right there, right? Or when you go on the phone, they're there. They could be playing all day long. The phone rings. You want to talk for a minute with your friend, they're there. So what do you suppose it is? If you agree with me, or if you don't agree with me, why do you think that I think, or I've heard, or in my life I've witnessed this? It's the guy. So you're going to say if it's a couple with no kids. Because like I said, I used to run support groups and discussion groups, and I've seen where, people divorce, separate, it just falls apart, relationships. Why is it that the majority is the guy is already going for a woman? And maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know, whatever, But that's been my, I want to say it's my opinion, it's what I've seen. So I'm wondering what you've seen. Do you see that as more of a majority kind of, the guys usually are the ones that are out? And then they say, well, a guy, doesn't want to be alone. I don't want to be alone either, I'd like somebody to hold my hand and say they love me, call me a princess, bring me some roses and some chocolate and write me love notes, or, I don't know, does that happen? Or like I used to see this old couple at the canal. When I had one of my kids, we went every day to the canal, one of my babies. It was my my first marriage, my youngest, every day we walked at the canal, and I used to see this older couple, not in the winter, but all the time. He would hold her purse, and I remember I was 7 years old, and I saw that, and I thought, wow, this is what I want someday if I get married. I want this forever. When your kids are grown, you have grandkids, and you're walking somewhere, and that's just me. If you're a women's liberator, you don't believe it. This is just my opinion. I want someone who, would hold my purse. They were still holding hands. And so they sat down, we fed the ducks, and we sat down. I went over to them, and I says, I'm not trying to be nosy or anything, but whenever I see an older couple, and I'm assuming here that you've been together, you might just be dating, you might just met, you don't know. I said, but if you've been together for a long time, have you? I'm just wondering. You don't have to answer. And they're so happy, and they like to talk, and I've heard so many wonderful stories. Yes, we've been together 50, 60 years. And you always hear in that scenario, almost always, the majority of the guy says, I love her more today than I did the day I married her. It warms my heart. And I said, I look at older people, and maybe they're just dating, maybe they just met, but in my head I'm thinking they're probably together forever, and most of them are. So isn't it kind of weird that, and I don't know, in the older population, because I'm not around people, I'm not in their population, I wonder if older people, when they, say 70, 80, say 70, and they get divorced, does the guy run out and look for a woman right away? People could say it's out of a need because, men can't take care of themselves. That's bull. I grew up an only child. I didn't have to do anything. I didn't have to wash dishes. Well, we didn't have a lot of food, so there wasn't a lot of dishes, but I didn't have to do any of that if I didn't want to. But I did. So don't tell me, because I raised my boys. They all knew how to do laundry, wash dishes, cook, bake. So there's no excuse, And there's some women who don't know how to cook. I have a friend whose mom, while her husband was at work, would make all these meals and stick them in her freezer. And for their entire marriage, he never knew she didn't know how to cook. Can you imagine that? So, that's just what I've seen. So I just like your opinion. Do you see that? Do you think that? What have you seen? Has it been in your own life? Whatever. So let's get a discussion going. I'm just curious. I don't know. I guess it's from my days of, doing volunteer work, and I like to listen to people's stories. So let me know. So for now, don't forget to subscribe, like. I know someone keeps putting this. It must be that one person, but whatever. I'm over it. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Sharing is caring. Don't forget to pay it forward. Feels good in your heart, Polly's heart, and my heart. So for now, bye everyone.